Now here, I want to get a good picture of the dentist, make sure, and then we're going to get a picture of everybody.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3 right here.
Okay, now hold on.
1, 2, 3, 1 second,
Mr.
1,
Mr.
1.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Mr. Hunter, come here.
Now.
Please. Come over here. Right over here behind this guy. Hold on. Ready?
2,
Yeah.
and
1, 2, 3.
Again, Marcelo.
I'm Marcella, guys. 1, 2, 3.
We have to leave the room. We have to leave the room, please.
You said some kids don't know it. We're going to
Hello, good evening, the world. My name is Yu Sanen. I am a special envoy and in charge of international relations for the Council for Justice, Equality and Peace, Vice President for the Global Organization for Sustainable Development, and Global Ambassador for the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. Today, 3 organizations gathered together to host this outstanding Drug-Free World Convention. We are in more than 120 countries. We educate millions of people. The world is messed up. Now the problem is worse because there's a lot of drugs abuse. So now instead for us to put people in jail, it is better to educate them. It is better to do prevention in order to stop young people, young kids of doing drugs. Because when you're doing drugs, it lessens your ability to take well. It lessens your ability to take the right decision for yourself. It lessens your ability, to do the right thing. You can kill your wife, you can kill your friends, you can drive and drunk and make accident. So this is why Drug-Free World is doing a campaign, encourage the young people in the whole world to stay out of drugs, and partnering with the mission, with ambassador, with drug leader, with the police chief, with army general to mobilize the whole world so we can have a drug-free world. So I'm very honored to have this privilege at this amazing TV station to tell you that we need a world free of drugs. So come with FOPAL, come with Drug-Free World, come together with COGEP International so we can empower each other so in turn we can empower the whole world. There's about 8 billion people in the world. 6 billion of them are believers. But why there is so much war? Why our kids are dying? Why there is so much division? So it is because we do not take responsibility. Today I urge you, I encourage you to take responsibility, to come together so in turn we can help the world. So thank you. Once again, my name is Yu Sanen. I'm your servant, and thank you very much.
I'm Salwa Kader, Sally, and I'm the head of the United Nations organization. It is International Federation for Peace and Sustainable Development. And today I am here for a program, very special program about drug-free world. And I helped with that and co-sponsored, and we did a lot of things. It's a wonderful program because we're having problems with drugs everywhere. And for all the people who have heard President Biden also speak about fentanyl, there is drugs killing our children and our youth and the adults all over the world. And the only way we can combat it is by education. So our organization have been doing a lot of important events. for human trafficking and drug trafficking. So we would like everybody to join us with this war and get in touch with us. And here at the United Nations, which is a great platform for everybody to be here and help each other with that. So it's been an event that is very good, and people came from all over the world to join us in this. And hopefully we will be able to make a dent. Thank you.
I know I do. That's why we're here.
No, that's why we are here.
The shit to do was not here. That's why I couldn't do it. So they arrived, so we had to. No, that's no, I didn't see. I see where I just see.
You can see how much has happened, and so that only means that we're going to accomplish a lot. So, unfortunately, because there's so much going on in the world, and the UN has such tremendous responsibility, our time will be very controlled. I ask you a favor, and especially as a Cuban man who loves to speak, that I want to remain your friend, and as Mayor Ford, who's my good friend of the World Conference of Mayors, to please follow decorum, right, Mayor?
Right.
And he said with me that if you don't, he will be stepping in for me so I can look good.
Well, I'd be honored.
You got it, Mayor. Now, let's begin. And, you know, we have a lot to cover, so we'll start at the beginning. The Foundation for a Drug-Free World, COGEP International, and FOPAL thank the Permanent Mission of Turkey, who's right to my left, for this opportunity at the United Nations. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. Other people speak, they do. And you know, recently they had a horrible earthquake. Many people have died. And so I want to have a moment of silence and prayer and thoughts for all those families who lost loved ones in Turkey. Okay. We want to thank the leader, the Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, for this opportunity. Because it's never by chance that something occurs, and even though I haven't had a chance to see him today, I know he's enabled what we're doing. And I want to thank the United Nations in general, which has so many of you that are involved. So we want to thank the entire United Nations for this 4th annual Global Drug-Free World Conference. During this 61st session of the United Nations Commission for Social Development, Dr. Hong, who couldn't be here, of FOPAL, President Ali Gedikoglu of COGEP, and myself, Dr. Bernard Fialkov of Drug-Free World International, have united to confront this global world crisis. We would be hard-pressed to identify a societal ill more insidious and destructive to social development and the UN Sustainable Goals than illicit drug and substance abuse. I know those of you who have families, children, grandchildren would agree. We're here for a reason. As world citizens, And our national cultures and our global communities are suffering and eroding under this onslaught of drugs, fentanyl, synthetic combinations, which caused 106,000 American deaths in the United States alone, eclipsing the entire 10-year Vietnam War, in which only 58,000 Americans died. And we protested vehemently about their death because they were somebody's young son. So we need to protest what's going on in the world. The 2021 UNODC World Drug Report stated that drug abuse affected a staggering 275 million people worldwide in 2021, and over 36 million people suffered drug use disorders. This virus is affecting the fabric of society, the love of families, the hopes and dreams of our children, the future of this planet. The United Nations General Assembly on 20 November 1989, in its great foresight, way back then, adopted Articles 3 and 33 of the Convention of the Rights of the Child. Article 3.1 states, in all actions concerning children, whether undertaken by public or private social welfare institutions, courts of law, administrative authorities, or legislative bodies, the best interest of the child. I will repeat that. It didn't say economy. The best interest of the child shall be a primary consideration. And Article 33 of the UN, parties shall take all appropriate measures, including legislative, administrative, social, and educational measures to protect children from illicit use of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. And we've seen, a tear came to my eye as I had my moment of silence. So imagine how many children are dying in the world. We need to awaken. The 2016 UNGAS World Drug Convention, which I attended in 2016, concluded all world leaders, all world ambassadors, that drug education and prevention were the key. Everything else was secondary. That it wasn't immediate, but it had to start. It is a solution that we need to implement. I represent one such program. It's not the only program, but if you know this Cuban 40-year surgeon who was valedictorian of his dental school class and received 9 of the 27 awards on graduation, I can tell a good program when I see one. And unfortunately, when you have a good program, sometimes it's too good. And my good friend Bobby Hunter, which is over there, knows this. So let's go over some facts that we can implement immediately. This is not about rhetoric, this is about kids, like Chu Smith is here for, the Globetrotter. If parents talk to kids about drugs, they're 40% less likely to take drugs. If we educate at an early age and substance abuse is avoided before 21 years of age, statistics show that less than 2.1% will ever have dependence. Imagine the economic impacts and social development of the very people that were going to carry out this social development. It's not machines that are going to carry it out. These are human beings of all nationalities, religions, races. Drug-Free World, through a worldwide network of volunteers, has distributed 50 million booklets in 22 languages. Tens of thousands of drug awareness have been held in 180 countries globally. And the truth about public service announcements have been aired on more than 500 television stations over the earth. Each child represents the future of our society. We need to give them their chance. We need to give them factual information based on science, which this program, which was qualified by the HIDA director, John Redmond, who couldn't be here today because he's so busy in his schedule, qualified based on his years working for the federal government. This is not a philosophy. This is not some late good idea, a commercial idea. This is a scientific program. There are no margins There's no demographic prejudice to drug addiction. No exclusion is ever granted. As Ruben Diaz knows, sitting next to me with all his religious leaders in New York and all over the world. So first, let us play some public service announcements that we have for you from Drug Free World. And by the way, I don't run Drug Free World. I'm the president of the Americas chapter. It's run in Los Angeles by some very good people. And one of them that I have to mention is Jessica Hoffman, who's the international director of Drug Free World International, who spends so much time protecting our kids. She needs to be acknowledged. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you. This is the program which you can find at drugfreeworld.org in 22 languages. It's free to you. And I'm a Cuban guy, so en vidasindrogas.org también lo pueden encontrar para la gente hispana. Y mi amigo Jorge Camacho, que vino de Bogotá. I have to say something. General Rosso Serrano, who captured Pablo Escobar of the Cali cartel, stand up, Jorge, couldn't come today, but in his place, the world policeman of the world, Serrano, who took down the Cali cartel in Colombia, sent this representative, Jorge Camacho. And in the back, General Nájera, who was director of the Air Forces of Guatemala, came all the way from Guatemala. I honor them because they won't be speaking today because they're too humble. And I said, no, they give up their time for other people. That's very high honor. Let's play the first video here, and let me turn on the sound for you. I turned it down because we were all socializing, and now we'll get to something very important.
They said drugs would make you cool. What's wrong with you? Then forget you guys.
Hey, wake up, sleepyhead. Pay attention in my class.
They said drugs would make you cool. They lied. Find out the truth about drugs. Drugfreeworld.org.
And so now I'm going to turn over to him so he can continue.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome to the Global Drug Free World Convention. Distinguished Ambassador, Ambassador Saleh, Dr. Hong, Dr. Ben, Ruben Diaz, Emmanuel Apodijou Sanen, Mayor Cross, Honorable Johnny Ford, Juan Joseph, Kabe, everyone, good evening. We are very happy to have you today, and we'd like to thank United Nations for allowing us this opportunity so we can use this platform to empower the world. I'd like to thank the mission of Turkish, who sponsored this Global Drug Free World event. The other reason that we be able to have this room, we wanted to have a bigger room, but because United Nations is busy around this time, Ambassador Sally tried, everybody tried, but this is the room that we were able to have. As we already know, there were about 11,000 people who just lost their life in Turkish and Syria, and we really sorry for what happened to your country, Turkey, Ambassador. And then on behalf of Foundation for the Drug Free World, FOPAL, and COGEP International, we really send our deepest sincerity to your people and to Syria. My name is Yus Sanen. I'm a global ambassador. I'm in charge of international relations to United Nations for the Council for Justice, Equality and Peace, Vice President for Global Organization for Sustainable Development accredited at the UN, and also Global Ambassador for the Foundation for the Drug Free World. we are the three organizations who put together this great drug fuel convention, and Dr. Ben, my great partner, is sponsored financially the whole thing that's going on. So we really appreciate your great heart in empowering. So now this is a great honor for me to invite the mission of Turkish who sponsor us tonight to their remark. Please put your hand together for Deputy Dr. Kakala. Please, once again, put your hand together for
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much. My name is Anıl Kayalan. I'm the government representative, represent the mission of Turkey at this moment. I thank all of you for your kindness in the beginning of this meeting. I am sorry, I really am not myself at this very moment. We are in the national mourning, so do please forgive me because of that. Thank you, organizers, for doing that thing, and we have no hesitation whatsoever in sponsoring that, because this is something good for everybody, all the billions of people in the world. I am a father myself of two, and I am 45 years of age, and I have witnessed what drugs can do to beautiful human beings, how they turn. So it makes so sense. In our day-to-day business, we also approach this not just as the official policy, but it's this consciousness. Does anybody have a problem hearing me? No. All right. Now, I will try to be very, very brief, because there will be many well-informed panelists doing very pertinent ones. First of all, the remarks by Dr. Bernard are 100% pertinent. I totally second it. We totally second it. Then, let me emphasize on the international drug control system, which governments are running at the end of today. Turkey is fully committed to the 3 international drug control conventions, and their full and universal implementation, we see it crucial for the effectiveness of the system. In that regard, I want to emphasize, underscore the CND, Vienna Commission on Narcotic Drugs, is the primary policy-making body. The UNODC is the leading entity for international drug policies, should continue to steer our endeavors, and we attach importance that UNODC should continue to play its independent and impartial role in these endeavors. And there is the INCB. So these 3 I want to underscore. Secondly, Turkey. Very few words. The Turkish law enforcement authorities continue to successfully seize a significant portion of illicit drugs trafficking through our territory. Huge numbers I have here, which I will not read. And as one of the legal and reliable opiate raw material suppliers for medical and scientific purposes, we apply strict controls that prevent any diversion. Turkey contributes to international efforts and offers assistance to many countries in their capacity building efforts, capacity building cooperation, importance of that. And we think, I think you would agree, drug problem, it is a problem, it is not an issue, it is a problem, sir, and this is a debate we have here, it is a problem. It could only be tackled through a multi-sectoral approach and strong international cooperation. And in that regard, government-civil society partnerships are significant, important. And sir, I think you and other law enforcement colleagues would agree, criminal organizations and terrorist groups are involved in illegal manufacturing or trafficking of drugs, along with other forms of transnational crime, in order to fund their activities. We know it is a fact. When there is crime, criminals cooperate. Be it organized crime, be it terrorists, but they cooperate. And let me underscore, Turkey is seriously concerned about the increasing use of new psychoactive substances and the use and legalization of cannabis in some countries, especially among the youth. Production, use and trading of the substances under control are strictly limited with medical and scientific purposes. Cannabis is not, should not, cannot be an exception to this rule. And SDGs, let me refer to them, considering the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, it is impossible to understand how legalization of cannabis fits in terms of SDG 3 on health and well-being, which promotes public health through an integrated approach in light of health. Finally, sir, I want to reaffirm Turkey's, my country's, strong commitment to our common efforts and international cooperation. I thank you wholeheartedly for your words regarding earthquake. It's, of course, at this very moment, the individuals who are there, who are losing their loved ones, are first and foremost affected, but it's a collective trauma. And the international community, all the countries, all the people are being great help. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us this opportunity. We thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now, in the, the importance of time, all I ask, and I feel like my friend Johnny now, is that everyone keep their comments concise, not because we couldn't all speak, but because it's important that we all have an opportunity, because people have traveled a long distance. And I know probably the UN will understand and maybe a little more flexible with our time. That I can't promise, but I'll go for it. And I'll take the heat for us. Now, I want to introduce someone who has been very, very, not only in words, but in her actions, has helped this meeting to occur and has been there when, like you said, sir, from Turkey, well, there was a problem, and she came through. And this is Sally Kader, an ambassador at large for freedom of religion, and the founder and president of the International Federation for Peace and Sustainable Development. And I want her to say a few words. She wasn't on the program, but if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't have happened. And so we need to actually reward those people who actually come forward in times of urgency. Sally Kader.
Thank you. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough for doing this because it is such an important issue. Actually, like you said, it's a problem. It's not just issues. It's the whole world. We are suffering from drugs and drug addictions, not only children, but families. And I commend you for doing this, and this is why my heart is with you. And thank you, my dear, for taking care of all of that. And I hope you will do this every year, and I'll be here to support you as much as I can. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. So now we have two dignitaries who are my good friends who couldn't be here. And I'm going to let, who would you like to go first? Okay, so I'm going to let Ambassador Hughes introduce President Ali of COGEP. Go ahead.
Yes, we'd like to introduce President Ali from Turkey. He was supposed to be here, but because of the earthquake, he couldn't make it. And then on behalf of the drug-free world and everyone, we introduce President
Drug-free world and full to FLACA, F-L-A-K-K-A. And we couldn't get anyone to help us, so we came to Dr. Ben. That was great, coming to a dentist that, does your teeth and reads your mind at the same time. But FLACA was spreading all over the country and being mixed with all kinds of drugs and being given to kids. And nothing was being done about it. So we drew a line. And we are here to stop FLACA from going into the communities. And we're using Drug-Free World and Each One Teach One Drug-Free America. We have United Churches. That's our power, united churches. And what Dr. Ben has done, but more, what the Honorable Johnny Ford has done was bring it all together under one banner. We're all together. That's real power. Dr. Hong, Reverend Jim Bostic's group, Dr. DK's group, Bishop Phillips' group. Yeah. So we have a large number of united churches fighting for your rights together so that we're able to stop this drug influence into our neighborhoods, so we'll be able to also give jobs out to the larger number of prisoners that are getting out of jail. We'll be able to give them jobs. Also, we're having the Conference of World Mayors in New Orleans, August 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Boy, the people are gathering all over to come there from different countries so that we're able to look at internationally how we can help each other. And there's a woman here that handles 3 projects with people running all over, and she's been handling 3 projects, 1 to 100 people every day, Miss Primus Gwen, who I love, who I will try to help. So I thank you for having me here today. I'm thankful that you are here. And just remember, we're all together. I was quicker than you. All in favor of the motion?
Aye. It is my honor to bring you greetings on behalf of the World Conference of Mayors, the Conférence Mondiale des Maires, the World Conference of Mayors, which is the United Nations of Cities. Why are we here? Because it is in the cities of the world where these drugs are taking the lives of our young people, taking their minds, their spirits, and their bodies. We as mayors are committed to lead this fight. We must fight for a drug-free world. I started my career with Bobby Kennedy, not far from here, in 1968. His dream then was to seek a newer world. We must seek a newer world, a drug-free world. And so I want you to lead the United Nations today, knowing that the World Conference of Mayors, the Historic Black Towns and Settlements Alliance, inspired by Dr. Booker T. Washington, Africa's Brain Bank, the National Business League, and many other organizations, we stand with you, Dr. Fiel Cole. We stand with the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. So go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere, that we will not despair until we have a drug-free world.
Okay, with that energy, it's appropriate because we have another globetrotter. Don't mess with him. Now, he's such a good man, and his family are good people. He's trustee of the town of Hempstead, and I know that you're seeing someone who in the future will definitely be at a much higher level. So let's listen to what Mr. Noah Burrows, Trustee Noah Burrows, has to say.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me, Dr. Ben. It is a pleasure to be amongst all of you. We all share the same vision, the same goal, which is to rid ourselves of drugs. I was one who followed the lead of people who did wrong, and I went the other way. So I saw what drugs could do to you. I saw how drugs could derail you, and I didn't want to have any issues that would derail me from my goal, which was to make it to be a professional athlete. In doing that, as my life went on, I always wanted to help more and do more. And I think teaming up with Dr. Ben and Drug Free World is one of the most positive decisions that I've made as an adult. And I want to continue to go further with this and see how we can institute Drug Free World into more communities and get kids to understand that drugs isn't the way to go.
Or perhaps because we want to make a tasty barbecue. I personally have wonderful hands when cooking. Cooking meat on charcoal suits me very well. However, in order to keep the charcoal hot enough I must light all the charcoal. If I only light a few pieces of charcoal, the meat will not cook well, and even worse, the fire will end quickly and I will not have the result I'm looking for. Gentlemen, drugs have crossed unimaginable limits. In the street, they sell them like hotcakes, and they have even started to legalize them. This makes it very easy to get them. And to complicate matters, the publicity that is given to them, be it through music, movies, social media, taking advantage of the curiosity of young people, makes them very attractive, and they are very like the piece of chicks in the mostra. As you only have tried it, you are trapped, and it's very difficult to you to get out there in harm. The only way to raise awareness among our youth is by joining forces. Each of you here is like the piece of coal that I spoke to you at the beginning. If each one of us is united in this mission, together we can ignite a great flame that it will be unimaginable and fruitful results. We as Canal America, a channel that has a high incidence both here in the Tri-State Zone and the Dominican Republic, are supporting this cause by bringing awareness to our people so that they are not trapped by this social evil.
Thank you.
That's why I ask you, do you want a light up with us to make a big fire against drugs?
Yes.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much. We are about to conclude our conference, but we have from Florida and from Haiti two very strong person. I'm just gonna give both 30 seconds to say something. And at last, we're going to have from Washington who bring a delegation for 15 people, Mayor Cross, who's going to do a presentation for a couple seconds, and then we're gonna conclude. Thank you very much, Honorable Prince Speaker. Juan Joseph, please put your hand together for Juan Joseph.
And thank you for all of you. Thank you for the invitation. Today is a big day for me to take part in this conference and the fight against drugs in the world. I wish Haiti played a major role in the fight against illegal drugs. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And lastly, from Washington and Virginia, Mayor Kashmir Cross. Please put your hand together for
of the time. I am Mayor Kashina A. Cross from the city of Glenarden, Maryland. I bring you greetings from the Prince George's County NAACP. I also bring you greetings from the city of Glenarden, the city on the move. I am Mayor Kashina Cross, and we are moving the mission forward against the drugs that are taking out our second and third generation. Today, I give you a call to action. Youth across our cities have been invaded by the ugly violence and the early worldly exposure, which has crafted a way of self-hate, community violence, and social disenfranchisement. The creative flow in which our childhood memories should have been blessed have been disturbed by grown-up issues. The creative flow of our youth is at risk. This conference, Drug-Free America, seeks to provide that guidance, that mentorship across the access of knowledge, of resources, and eligible resources at the national level. And that is why you have dignitaries in this room. To those that are from Turkey, we stand with you as a nation who is here caring about drug-free world while they have citizens who are still buried under rubble. Let us understand that this mission that we are on is greater than any one of us. I have given proclamations to every one of those that have been involved, and that we are calling them the citizens of the world. You don't just become a citizen of one state or one nation. You have to be a citizen of the world to tackle a worldly issue like drugs. It is so important that we as leaders, world leaders in the UN, we stand. We challenge the narrative that our children are not worth it. No more inactive tolerance. Today we say nay. We are moving the mission forward. Our motto, our extraordinary, shall be extraordinary. We are just ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Today we stand firm. Today we don't waste any more time. We stand with you, Dr. Fialkov. We stand with you, Ambassador San-Honon. We stand with you, senators. We stand with you, congressmen. To all the mayors that are in this room, to the World Conference of Mayors, the Honorable Ford, we are moving the mission forward. Now, Dr. Fialkov wants me to sing. Do you want me to sing it later?
I would love to, but we have to conclude.
At the restaurant. At the restaurant.
Yes, at the restaurant. Now, I want to conclude. We want to thank convention. I know you want to see it again next year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, have a round of applause for that. Thank you. I want to give a sincere gratitude to all the speakers for being here, for taking the time. And this is the final conclusion. Let all men and women, let all nations rise up and awaken to the virus, to the cancer, to the common real enemy of every man, of every race, of every religion, of every nation. Drugs. And its associated violence in the subways, violence at night, violence in our world, and death of our children from addiction. Let the United Nations Assembly ring a warning bell on this February 10, 2023, and be forever known as the day where all mankind proclaimed in the United Nations in New York City, justice has not died, conscience still exists, we can be free, we can create a drug-free world.
And my dear wife, Emmanuel Prodigiou, I conclude this Drug Fuel Conference. Drug free world! Drug free world! Drug free world! Drug free world! Drug free world!
Actually, when I came in, when I came in this morning, because I knew I was going to get here early, I stopped and actually got breakfast.